Hi friends, Living Fit with Laura. I want to talk a little bit more about our choices and why so many of us will be depressed because we erroneously believe we have no choices. We actually always have choices. Yesterday I'm in Issaquah right now. My husband drove me by the group home that I lived for 4 years, and incredibly enough, 3 or 4 of the same people live there as I lived there back in the 90s. I felt weird and sad. For me, it was the medicines that really messed up my life. I still have depression, but I manage it with exercise and with deliberately deciding to choose to live well. The 4 years I was in that group home, I took classes at the Bellevue College. I was an honor student. I was going to go to graduate school. I took classes in biochemistry and advanced chemistry and genetics, and I actually made it into UW. But life took a turn for me, and I got married and had 2 kids instead. However, those years when I saw the group home were good years because why? Because I didn't give up. I didn't cave to my circumstances. I lived well. What is living well? Taking responsibility. I paid my own bills. I worked. I was not able to work in my profession of chemistry, but I always worked. I worked as a caregiver for the elderly, and I took care of the financing all the classes I took. I financed my car insurance, car repairs, everything. I was not coddled or babied by anyone, and so I stepped up and took responsibility for living a good life despite disadvantageous circumstances. I did not cave because I knew that my life would be good despite living there. And now, 26 years later, when I went back to that group home and I saw a few of the same people that had lived there back when I lived there 30 years ago, I felt both very strange and very sad. The medicines, it was obvious that medicines had blunted these people. I imagine I was very blunted and very docile and very passive. That's the medicine, that's not me. Off the medicines, I'm able to chase after a goal. I'm able to be realistic. I'm able to go out there. However, for me, the blessing was the medicines did not adversely affect my ability to learn, because all the classes I took, they got me into UW. I got A's. I was still able to learn. I was very, very docile and passive, and I couldn't really interact with people, but I could still learn. And I see that as a gift from God. So remember, it is not necessarily our circumstances. We don't need ideal circumstances to live well. We need an attitude of, I'm going to make the best of this situation. On this beautiful day, we continue moving forward to those things that lie ahead, putting behind us those things that lie behind. We must never compare, because that's where we get into trouble. We must never compare. Another person's journey is not your journey. It is a guaranteed recipe for sadness if we compare our path to other people. So I am very, very grateful to be back in Issaquah after all these years and to see my lifelong friend. She actually did my hair for my wedding. I believe God blessed me and blessed my due diligence in taking responsibility for my life all those years ago in very disadvantageous circumstance. And I did not stay there to rot. A doctor, a GP, weaned me off all those horrible medicines. It took about a year, and I had to relearn how to sleep, and entering back into the world as a non-medicated person was very shocking, because I had been very blunted, and people were used to that. People were used to me being very blunted, very passive, nothing to say. But now I'm basically the way I've always been. I'm myself. Always be true to yourself. Always be yourself. Never try to be someone else. Always get your exercise. Always have hope. Hope is our favorite 4-letter word. we leave a legacy of hope, and we keep moving forward with our goals. We always have goals. What saved me during those years in the group home? Having goals. Get on and live. I took those classes. I was engaged with working, albeit menial jobs. I still worked and took responsibility. And for that, I can feel satisfied, never arrogant, satisfied that I lived a good life despite disadvantageous circumstance. Living Fit with Laura, always being grateful, always taking responsibility to get and stay, staying stable, serene, and strong. I'm proud of you. Keep it up.